Are you looking for a custom solution to manage your organization's information that is more practical than a spreadsheet and less expensive than custom software? My name is Ray, and I'm the creator of InfoAide. In this video, I give an introduction on what InfoAide is and how it can be configured to help an organization manage information. I will do a number of small demonstrations of how a custom software experience can be configured by a consultant and used by an end user. By the end of this video, we will have created and enhanced a small software experience that manages the contact information and special dates of friends. Before I get started, I want to mention two things. First, for this demo, I present a non-business example for simplicity that is hopefully relatable to a larger audience. Your organization has its own unique problems and way of doing things. I invite you to imagine what private information and operational challenges your organization has that could be helped with this technology. Your organization's information may currently live in spreadsheets, documents, or another software that does not provide an ideal experience. Second, the hope is that this demo provides you with some insight of how a software experience can be created, that a software experience is nicer to use than a spreadsheet, and that the process to create a software experience would be faster and ultimately cheaper than developing custom software. The configuration steps that I'm showing in this video would be done behind the scenes by a consultant, and there is no expectation that your organization will perform this configuration. Let's do this. Imagine that a pretend organization's main pain point was not having a place to store the contact information of their friends. Let's put on our consultant hat and take steps to create a simple software experience that allows the end user to manage the phone number of friends. First, we create folder fields which define the atomic pieces of information the software experience should manage for friends. In this example, we define the fields to store a name, a phone number, and general notes for a friend. Next, we create a folder type which defines how a specific folder looks and feels. In this example, we define the layout of a friend folder and that it supports organization flags. Now, we create a dashboard group which defines how an end user can interact with the software experience. In this example, we create a simple dashboard to allow the user to create a friend folder, find a friend folder, and see flagged folders. Lastly, we configure the roles which define what information the end user has access to. In this example, we simply give the end user access to everything. The first version of the software experience is complete. Up to this point, I have been wearing the consultant hat as we focus on configuration. The desired takeaway is that you saw that a number of high-level steps were done relatively quickly, which allows for a faster implementation time. Let's put on our end user hat and see what information can now be managed by the software experience based on the earlier configuration. The dashboard is where the end user can see timely information and access information. From here, let's start to create a new friend folder. If we attempt to create a folder without required information, we will see that it enforces that the appropriate fields are entered. Let's enter our friend's information and save it. We have entered a friend's information. Now let's see if we can find him and add a note to call him later. And then let's return to the dashboard. We will now see a note to call our flagged friend. Notice that I did not need to specify the friend's name or phone number in the flag text, as the flag itself is associated with the friend's record. So we have created a simple software experience based on what was needed at the time. The inconvenient truth is that software is always subject to change. The information needs of an organization changes and grows over time. Let's see what it looks like to update an existing software experience that has existing information. Imagine that the pretend organization's next pain point was not having a place to store the email address, home address, and special dates of their friends. Let's put our consultant hat back on and get going. First, we create folder fields for the email address and home address that we can add to the existing friend folder type. Next, we expand the existing folder type by inserting the newly created folder fields before the notes. Note that we must allow them to be empty. Now, we create form fields to define the atomic pieces of information the software experience should manage for the important dates. With that, we can create the form type to manage important dates. And then we can create a custom search that returns the important dates within 2 weeks of the current date. After creating this search, it can be added to the dashboard. Lastly, we configure the roles again to ensure that the end user has appropriate access. The second version of the software experience is complete. The desired takeaway is that you saw that an existing software experience could be modified and enhanced even when information already exists. There are additional rules that need to be followed compared to creating a software experience from scratch, but InfoAide is built with this scenario in mind. Let's put on our end user hat again and see how the software experience has changed based on the latest configuration. On the dashboard, we see that the existing dashboard group now shows an empty list of special dates. Let's take a look at our existing friend folder. Notice that the addition of new fields is retroactive, so it applies to all existing folders. A choice can be made to keep the fields optional or make them required after backfilling existing folders. Let's make today an important day for John. Let's return to the dashboard to see that John's important date is now displayed. In this video, we gave a behind-the-scenes peek at how a consultant can create a new software experience and update an existing software experience. For the end user, we provided a first look at how InfoAide supports the basic management of information and basic operations against stored information. I hope that this video demonstrates that InfoAide can provide a customized software experience that's more user-friendly than managing information in spreadsheets. I also hope that this video demonstrates how InfoAide can provide a customized software experience that costs less than developing custom software from scratch. I will note that this example was quite small and may have even looked trivial to implement. More meaningful software experiences are more difficult to design. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you'd like to see more about InfoAide, please check out the other videos on this channel. If you'd like to learn more about InfoAide, please visit the website infoaide.ca. If you have questions or comments, I'd love to hear from you.